How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Some more. Okay, it's going down in DC. RFK Jr. is shaking things up and truly, truly, truly upsetting the left, progressive, and everybody else. Okay, he is. He is. So I found this article quite interesting because they're like, wait a minute. This guy doesn't believe in science. Really? Wait a minute. When has when has the Democrats, when have they believed in science? They're running around saying that that trans men can give birth. I mean, that's scientifically impossible for a man to give birth. But they say that he doesn't believe in science. So when did the last administration and everybody in it actually believes in science now? I mean, I find that quite interesting. So they're saying the National Public Health Group calls for RFK Jr. to resign, citing complete disregard for science. You can't make this stuff up. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, you can't. But I digress. But here, George Benjamin, the American Public Health Association, cites litany of actions taken by Health Secretary. Well, he has to most definitely straighten out that stuff whenever you can go. And the previous Secretary of Health said that you could go to any school and you could get puberty blockers. You can get you're able to change yourself into the gender you belong. But I mean, I could go on and on about that, but let me go ahead and stop that right there. Okay. So here, a national public health organization is calling for the health secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., to resign the federal post he assumed just weeks ago, citing implicit and explicit bias and complete disregard for science. You can't make this stuff up. You all have selective amnesia. George Benjamin, executive director of the American Public Health Association, said in a statement on Wednesday that concerns raised during Kennedy's confirmation hearing last month has been realized, followed by massive reduction in staff at a key health agency. After presenting a litany of Kennedy's actions, the group disagreed with the measles, fluoridation, FDA staffing, and other matters. He wrote, "As a physician, I pledge first to do no harm." Really? You pledge to do no harm? Why don't you check out the people who you left out there dangling that have been harmed? I'm just saying. And to speak up when I see harm being done by others. You missed 4 years of it. Just a thought. I asked my colleagues to join me and speak up. Secretary Robert Kennedy is a danger to public health and should resign or be fired. Well, I think that if he wants to do something to make food healthier for us and to get a lot of the steroids and everything else what they're putting in the food, and I could go on and on about that, but give the man a chance, okay? In an interview at Stat, Benjamin said he'd issued the statement on behalf of the group following discussions with leadership and staff. The call for the resignation is, to Benjamin's knowledge, a first for the APHA, a 150-year-old nonprofit that is the oldest and largest association of public health professionals in the world, with tens and thousands of members to meet regularly about policy and practice and publish the American Journal for Public Health. Now, if you've been established for what, 150 years, what have you been doing about this foolishness that has been going on for, I would say, the past, what, 15 years? And it got really bad the last four. And you said nothing, done nothing, wrote nothing, petitioned nothing, protest against nothing. But all of a sudden, when he's talking about taking this garbage out of the food, these dyes and this, that, and the other, and all of a sudden, oh my goodness, resign, fire him. He's going to break our status quo. Miss me with that. Okay, the things that he has done have not only been not only not have been helpful, but I believe many of the things he articulated have been hurtful, Benjamin said, told Stat. I think people are going to die because of what he's doing. So in other words, him taking certain things out of our food, taking certain all these sugars that we don't need in our sodas and the foods, and but that right there's a bad thing, right? I wonder how much money you're getting on these kickbacks from these companies. That's something that we have a right to know. But job cuts at the Food and Drug Administration and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and elsewhere at the Health and Human Services are the latest examples of poor and thoughtless management that would only undermine the work of our nation's top public health agency to keep us all healthy, he said in a statement. If you're keeping us all healthy, then why is it that so many people are gaining weight by the food? Why does chicken have steroids in it? Why does I mean, I could go on. Yeah, man, I don't look, you don't work for the American people. You work for either a foreign entity or some company that's fattening your pockets, and you sold us out for 30 pieces of gold. Judas. Anyway, the latest example of poor, thoughtless management, okay, only determined work of our nation's top public health agency to keep us all healthy, he said in a statement. But he goes on and says a whole lot of things. Now, I'm just going to simply say this. Ever since ever since these big businesses, these big agricultural businesses, big farm, has taken precedence, many people have been having diabetes, hypertension, all of these health issues ever since they got into the food industry. Excuse me, the food industry. And the fact that you made you made a deal for our food to be processed in another country is a huge problem. We have no idea what they're putting in. And then, our farmers here, you're not putting them to work because you're putting farmers in another country to work. This right here is a huge problem, and it's most definitely anti-American, and 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 it goes, the fact that you never asked us what we wanted, you just did it. You never said, hey, American people, let me go ahead and take a poll to see, are you okay with this? Nah, you didn't do that. You just went ahead and did it behind our backs and then thrown all this stuff there in the food. And now that you have that creepy gates of hell who wants to put medicines in our vegetables to make sure that we get it. Dude, have you started with your family? No, I know you didn't. I know you didn't. But what is good enough for your family should be good enough for the rest of the people. But what is good enough for the rest of the people is not good enough for your family. You couldn't even solve a computer virus. Why do you want to get into this stuff? You need to get out of here, in my humble opinion. And I'm pretty sure a few million people would have my back on that statement. Can't make this stuff up. So let me ask you a question. RFK has not been in long enough in order to make any true change as he said he would. Now, for Benjamin to call for him to either resign or to get fired, he's jumping the gun. But let me ask you, do you want to give RFK a chance or do you want him gone because they want to maintain the status quo by keeping Americans fat and sick? Because they're doing a damn good job of it. I want to let you know they're doing a damn good job of it. But on that note, I want to thank you for stopping by and please put a comment down there. Whether if you agree or disagree, what are your thoughts about him being fired or resigned, or should he stay?